All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going on an expedition, a journey into one of the most exciting financial frontiers out there, emerging real estate markets. And this is about way more than just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about understanding the massive forces that are literally reshaping our world. So what's all the buzz about? Well, this chart right here tells you everything you need to know. Just look at the bar for emerging markets. It's not just a little bit taller, it's in a completely different league. That is the kind of explosive growth potential we're talking about, and it's the big why behind our entire journey today. So let's kick things off with Section 1, the high growth frontier. We're going to explore why this is the new land of opportunity for investors who know what they're doing. I want you to think about it like you're planning a road trip. You could take the safe, paved highway of a mature market. It's reliable, totally predictable, but the scenery doesn't change much. Or you could take the thrilling, unpaved road through an emerging market. The potential for discovery is just immense, but you're going to need a really good map and a steady hand on the wheel. Which brings us perfectly to Section 2, understanding the landscape. Because, any good explorer needs a map. So let's really chart the terrain and define what an emerging real estate market actually is. So, what does emerging really mean? As you can see, it's not just a spot on a map. We're talking about an economy that's in motion, an economy that's transforming, creating this really unique mix of high potential returns and, as we're about to see, much higher risks. And these markets, they all kind of share a certain DNA. We're talking about cities that are just booming, a middle class that's growing fast and has money to spend, huge infrastructure projects popping up everywhere, a really young population, and, importantly, a regulatory environment that's still, let's say, figuring things out. So what's actually fueling this engine of change? Well, it's this powerful combination of things. You've got economies shifting into high gear, a ton of foreign investment pouring in, and this concept of a demographic dividend. Basically, a young, energetic workforce that's ready to build, work, and buy. Okay, but no expedition is a walk in the park. So, Section 3, navigating the major risks. Let's look the challenges straight in the eye and figure out how to prepare for them. This slide says it all, doesn't it? High reward means you have to navigate high risk. This is not about buying a lottery ticket and hoping for the best. It's a game of strategy. The goal isn't to avoid a storm. It's to build a ship that's strong enough to sail right through it. So, what are the main dragons we need to be ready to face on this quest? Well, they pretty much fall into 4 big categories: political surprises, economic ups and downs, tricky legal systems, and the wild ride that can be currency risk. Let's make this super practical. Take currency risk. You're worried about the market swings, right? Well, you can use things like hedging strategies. Think of it like buying insurance against those fluctuations. Another really smart move? Try to finance your project in the local currency. That way you insulate yourself from a lot of that exchange rate risk. And this slide right here is a huge, flashing warning sign. Whatever you do, do not go it alone. Trying to navigate a maze of unclear property rights, really complex ownership laws, and rules that seem to change, that's a job for a local expert, period. Anything less is a gamble you just can't afford. All right, so we've mapped the terrain, we've identified the risks. Now let's get to the good part. Section 4, the Investor's Strategic Toolkit. It's time to pack our bags for a successful expedition. Your research process is absolutely everything. Think of it like you're building a pyramid. The base, the foundation, is your macro analysis, the big picture of the country's stability. The middle layer? That's your deep dive, on-the-ground local research. And the very top, the capstone, is your painstaking legal check. You need all 3 for a foundation that won't crumble. This quote here is pretty much the golden rule for emerging markets. Why? Because a strong local partner isn't just a guide. They're your compass. They're your translator. They're your bridge to the community. Honestly, they are your unfair advantage. Now, for a really key strategic choice, where does the money come from? You can go with local financing, which is great for stability and market knowledge. Or you can tap into international capital, which brings a much bigger scale. But, and this is a big but, it comes with a much higher bar for transparency and responsibility, including these things called ESG standards. That's environmental, social, and governance. So let's move on. We have our map, we have our tools. It's time for Section 5, Spotting Future Opportunities. Now let's go find the treasure. And what's cool is that the opportunities are all over the place, each one driven by something different. You've got urbanization setting the residential sector on fire. You've got economic growth powering commercial real estate. E-commerce is absolutely supercharging industrial and logistics. And of course, a boom in travel is fueling hospitality. But there is one sector that is just on another level right now: industrial and logistics. I mean, think about it. The e-commerce revolution has created this unbelievable, insatiable demand for modern warehouses and delivery hubs. It's totally changing how everything moves around the globe. And looking ahead, the future of investing is responsible investing. That ESG acronym we mentioned, environmental, social governance, it's not just a buzzword anymore. It's the new standard. It's what attracts big international money. It's what modern tenants demand. And frankly, it's what builds real, lasting value in a world that's changing fast. The future is already knocking on the door, and it's creating the next giant wave of opportunities. Things like smart cities, all the new property technology, or PropTech, and this relentless trend of urbanization, these aren't just things to watch. They are the new frontiers to go out and explore. So the big takeaway here is pretty clear. The frontier's open, and the potential is absolutely immense. But success requires preparation. It requires a smart strategy and a healthy dose of respect for the risks involved. So the final question really isn't just, are you prepared for the expedition? It's, what amazing things will you discover when you get there?